All right. So let me talk to you, show you the results that we did with Russell Brunson. Okay? Russell Brunson said, holy cow, Mike Filsaime and Andy Jenkins are the #1 affiliates of all time for ClickFunnels, all with the help of the last webcast we did promoting our service. Just one webinar promotion did $250,000 in sales. I have never seen anything like it. I'm now applying the webinar control framework to all of my webinars with my future JV partners. This is truly an unfair advantage to anyone that has this insider information that you guys are about to see. He's a New York Times bestselling author and the CEO of ClickFunnels. We promoted his webinar. If you see where my mouse is, I don't know if that's actually shown, but let me go back. On the bottom of that slide, those are the previous 2 webinars that we did. We did $108,000 in commissions on 2 webinars. That means we averaged about $50,000 per webinar. If you see my pending commissions that we did last week, many of you that are in this room were on that ClickFunnels webinar. Many of you that are in this room bought that incredible offer because we did this framework with Russell, not just in how to present the slides, but also in how we promote it in the email sequences. Guys, that's coming next. I'm so excited to show that to you. You have to stick around for that. All right? We did $100,000 in commissions. He pays 40% commissions. That's over $250,000 in sales. What that means, in a nutshell, is that we made as much money in one webinar as we did in the previous 2. Just by doing what we did in the first 4 laws, but more importantly, law number 5, what I'm going to teach you, nobody has seen before. I'm going to show you the exact sequence, when the emails go out, what the emails say, all that you're about to learn, all right? Mike Koenig's heard about this. He calls Andy Jenkins, and he calls me. We get on a call. He says, hey, can you come down to my office and show me what you did? That's my impression of Mike Koenig. Show me what you did with Russell Brunson. And we're like, yeah, sure. We went in. I got to tell you, Mike is a genius at what he's doing. And here's the thing. He was doing something called Webcast Profit Toolkit, which was teaching people about webcast. And even Andy and I gave him some additional structure that he could use so that he could sell that program. This is what he said. Mike Filsaime and Andy Jenkins consulted me for 3 hours on the webinar control framework. We then applied it to my webinar for Webcast Profits Toolkits, and the results were the best webinar we ever did. Now, you know Mike, he's been doing webcasts forever. It was the best he ever did. In one promotion, we grossed $320,000, and now I'm rolling this framework out with every JV partner, as well as my evergreen marketing funnels. Do whatever you can to get your hands on this framework. Mike Koenig, New York Times bestselling author, and you know him, he's been around forever. So, what is webinar control? Well, webinar control is the complete webinar control blueprint and framework. So let me show you some slides here. And I'm going to, in the next part of the training, every little bubble that you see, I'm going to go over the majority of the important stuff there. What you're seeing is up at the top is it says Monday through Sunday. These are called a short cycle promotion. We're going to give you the exact blueprint of when to mail, what the email should say, and then there's a little attachment icon that is going to link to the emails that we've actually written. We're going to give you copy, paste, templated emails that we've done in these last 7 webinars. Then it shows you on Tuesday what happens, on Wednesday what happens, on Thursday what happens, on Friday. As you can see right in the center of the screen, we're here right now, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We're actually in the matrix right now, guys. That's where we are. We're in the middle of this framework, okay? And as you can see, Saturday and Sunday talk about the scarcity replay page. I'm going to show you that page in just a second as well. So you're going to get this entire framework. Here's how it works. Guys, this is better than me doing it in a cheat sheet or giving you PDFs or giving you mind maps that are printed in a PDF. What I'm going to actually do, I'm sneaking over here. I'm actually now in the framework. I'm going to click share, and we're going to share this with you. Your email address is going to go in here, and then you're actually going to have access to these entire frameworks right here. You'll be able to click on these attachments and see all of the emails that we wrote, and they have the day and the time that we sent them out. You'll have the copies of our landing pages published into your ClickFunnels account. so that you can use to have these order pages that we use for what we call the Saturday and Sunday promotion. We will have training on all this stuff. You'll have the emails, the swipes, the landing pages, everything. When you go into this blueprint, it tells you what the email should do, what time to send. You click the attachment, and it'll open up the email. It'll open up the the order page, everything. So this cannot be done in a mind map. I can't do this on PowerPoints. This training is done in something called the Control Writer Framework. It's the most advanced framework building software out there. We used it because it's just phenomenal and allows us to give you a framework and really cool stuff here. I'm just going to show you. Once you're in there, you can like add new bubbles just by clicking here. I could add a side bubble to the side over here, and you can build out a framework very, very simple. We've actually built out the framework for you. All right. Next is you can add some tabs up here for additional, kind of like additional things that mind maps don't give you that type of flexibility. But let's get back onto here. You're going to get that framework. You're going to get frameworks on the thank you pages, the sequencing of what we call the indoctrination, and everything that's needed to go on what we call the scarcity replayed closeout pages. All right. Now let me tell you how this framework came to be inside of the Control Writer software. This software called Control Writer that you're seeing that I'm live in right now, going through these different tabs, that came from a guy named Mitch German and Sean Wander. And Mitch German was Andy's roommate in college. When Andy went to NYU to study film, his college roommate was Mitch German. Now, Mitch has gone on to do some incredible things in the world of Hollywood, especially in screenplay writing. He was the guy that took your crappy screenplay and found out why it wasn't working. And he actually took that and developed a framework called, in Control Writer, that was called Plot Control. And with Plot Control, they had things like the story, the inciting event, all these different things. Mitch and Andy caught up about 2 years ago, and hey, how's it going? Andy, oh, good. Mitch, how's it going? Oh, we're doing really, really good. I've got this thing. We're selling it to Hollywood people. It's going like crazy. Andy went, oh my God, is this like a mind map? Mitch was like, it's not like a mind map. It's like 10 times better than a mind map. You can do this. You can open the bubbles, and you can go in any direction. It lets you flow. And mind maps are about short bits of content. In here, I could put more content, or I could even open up a Word document or an Excel or a spreadsheet or a screenshot. This is like frameworks. And Andy was like, there's nothing like this. Can you make something? And he was like, well, right now it's a desktop version for Plot Control, but give me some time. A year later, working with me and Andy, Sean and Mitch worked on something called Control Writer. And what it allows people to do is put a framework in and then publish it and share it with people where they can actually get it and use it and see all the attachments. This is a must-have. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about it in the future, but basically what happens is, when I say the future in about 5 minutes, is all of my stuff, I get to share this with you. And once you have access to this, you have it for life. But not only am I giving you a shared copy, I've talked Mitch and to Sean into giving you lifetime access to this software so you could use it for every framework you ever want to create in the future. Project management, all those different types of things. The software costs $99 a year. You're going to have access to it for life. For life. We're giving it to you for free. So it's not just my framework and a couple of other frameworks I'm going to give you. You can actually use it for your own framework. So let's move on, because that's how that came to be. All right? So Webinar Control is going to have 2 training classes starting on Thursday, July 9th. That's this coming Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then the following Thursday, July 16th. And there'll probably be some additional stuff. I'm starting to go over some stuff with Sean and realizing we've got a lot of awesome stuff. We're going to do them live, just like this in Webinar Jam Studio, prepared content ahead of time. We're going to go over the psychology of the emails, the psychology of the copy, the structure of the framework, all those different things. You'll get not only access to the swipes, the landing pages, and the emails, we're actually going to give you training on the psychology and why it works. All right? So these 2 live interactive training sessions over 5 hours of content of powerful game-changing information and direct application for that framework that I just showed you. We're going to stick around for Q&A, and replays will be available on-demand viewing at any time. All right? It's also going to include, as I said, our email swipes, our landing pages, our sequences, and our best converting replay page, okay, which you're going to learn about in part 2 of this webinar. It works with your own webinars. No matter what webinar software you use, hopefully you're using Webinar Jam Studio. It also works even better with evergreen webinars. All right, and we have Ever Webinar coming out July 7th. All right, in about three or four more days. So it works with either one. But here's what's cool. It doesn't just work with your webinars. It works with promotions you're doing for other partners, because in the framework, you just go and say, you know what, okay, I'm going to promote email 1 on Monday, email 2 on Tuesday, we're going to do the webinar on Wednesday, do email on Thursday, we're going to do the encore on Friday, and this will make you incredible profits promoting other people's webinars. Now look, we have 80,000 people on our list, and we're generating 250,000 in sales. So if you find the right JV partners, and you only have 8,000 people on your list, well, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to do 25,000 in sales. And if you only have 800 people on your list, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do $2,500 in sales. I still think that's pretty awesome. So even if you don't have a product, the framework allows you to become a super affiliate, okay? Make sure you're paying attention there. Even if you don't have your own webinar, and even if you have a small list, this webinar promotion framework will allow you to become a super affiliate. And as I said, this is safer than doing a product launch because you can get started next week. Okay? So Webinar Control is $1,997 if you want to get started with it today. But wait, there's more. All right? Bonus number 1 is the Control Writer software. You're going to get lifetime access to it. You're going to get the Webinar Control framework inside of it, the complete blueprint for exponential profit increasing on your next webinar event. You can share the template with your JV partners, people on your team, and or just create a clone of it so that you could use it for your next webinar. You can create and sell your own frameworks. If you have a passion project and you're like, damn, that looks great, I want to fulfill my next course on that instead of a mind map or PowerPoint slides, you're going to have free access to this to create unlimited projects, unlimited frameworks, and for life, at normally $99 a year, all right? So you can share your work with unlimited people. Here's the thing. Once you have access to this software, you can share your content for people for free or when they buy your product. And whether that's 10 people or 10,000 people, you can give them all an access to Control Writer, but they would only get access to your framework. They wouldn't be able to create projects like you're doing. And that was a deal breaker with me and Andy. We said to Sean and Mitch, no, we don't want to just give them the framework. Our customers are going to want to be able to create their own framework. So as a bonus, guys, that you're getting. All right? It's got full real-time collaboration. I wish I had more time to show you, but basically 9 people can be making 9 bubbles at the same time, and you're seeing it happen just like you see in Google Docs. It's the next generation of mind mapping. It's called control writing. All right? Webinar Control was $1997. Now you're getting lifetime access to the Control Writer software with an unlimited share license. Okay, that's a $997 value. But we're also going to give you something that's called Offer Control. Okay, this is a bonus framework. The original Offer Control framework for Control Writer was a blueprint that literally launched Marketing Genesis into what would become an 8-figure company. All right, this is going to be shared with you as a template that you can do in any webinar or any type of promotion that you do. This is Offer Control, and what offers are knowing about hooks and frames and positioning. Okay, that's what we teach you here. So I'm giving you a screenshot of another framework that's completely built out for you to go through and see how Andy and I come up with creating an offer, the psychology of an offer. This training is also included with video as well as the framework. Offer Control framework and training was sold at Marketing Genesis Live for $997. Okay, you get the Video Genesis framework. Okay, this is a behind-the-scenes look of what we did for the launch of Video Genesis. All right, the Video Genesis launch did $2 million in revenue, and what Andy and I did, this isn't about necessarily the content of Video Genesis, also, although it's in there. We also break down how we put the content together in the frame of a marketing launch. So all of that is in there. You get that absolutely free included. That's a $997 value. We're going to give you Webinar Genesis training. This is an in-depth training of the 5 laws created by myself and Andy Jenkins. It's over 8 hours of video. Basically, if you're like, wow, 8 hours, here's why. You do this on a Saturday when you're creating your webinar. You press pause, you go through. It's a slide-by-slide how you create your webinar and your offer. What happens on slides 7 through 10? What happens on slides 11? What happens on slides 15? Slides 52 is where you put your offer and your stack. You will actually have a template how to do your webinar from start to finish. A no-fail webinar. And this framework is also going to be built out in the Control Writer software for you. Webinar Genesis currently sells for $497. We're also going to give you a product we haven't released yet called VSL Genesis. Everything we just told you about webinars, you'll also be able to do for video sales letters. When you're ready to do a video sales letter, take this off the shelf. It'll be there for you. It's a step-by-step blueprint for creating the highest converting video sales letters for your product. It includes fill-in-the-blank framework for a no-fail video sales letter. This is the same thing. Slide number 1, slide number 9 through 11, slide number 15, you say this. This is where you say you're not alone. Okay, it's not your fault. The odds have been stacked against you. You literally will be able to build out your video sales letter. When you're ready, this will be there for you, and the framework will be in the Control Writer software. That's a $497 value that we're going to sell later. Okay, and finally, it's something called Webinar University. Nobody has access to this yet. You'll get early access to Webinar University. It's webinar training from 26 of the leading webinar experts across multiple industries. Take a look at some of these people. You're seeing Jeff Walker, Brendan Bouchard, Jason Fladlin, Anik Singhal, Russell Brunson, Eben Pagan, Ed Dale, and more. 26 different people that we actually interviewed. So what we've done is we've created a university where you can go anytime you want and say, I just want to listen to this one person. And you can see the interview that we did. It was a very candid interview, but it's been highly edited. And we had somebody take notes for you, and then we put them in a professional stylized PDF so you can download the notes. Okay? So there's more training on all of these different people. That's there for you as well. Honestly, as I said, it includes notes, mind maps, and additional training even from me and Andy. You're going to get access to that. We're not selling that, so but nobody has access to it, so basically it's the content from our launches. I think the fact that we went and took the time to have these videos edited, have the notes done for them, to give you this, since we're not selling, all I can say is the information is priceless. All right? So let's do a recap. If we take a look at everything there, the total value is $4,985, so it's a $5,000 value that you're seeing there. All right? But let's keep in mind what you also get out of this. List building. If you did one webinar per week where 500 people register, that would be a new list of about 26,000 people that you can mail to every single day. That's pretty cool, right? Remember, webinars are the best way to build a list. So let me ask you a question, guys. I need you to pop into the chat here and do some math for me. If the Webinar Control Framework did everything that we promised for you, how much money would you make on your first webinar if you had 200 people on your webinar and you closed at a 10% conversion and they purchased your product? Okay? And remember, maybe you're going to create a new product for your webinar. I like high ticket prices. So if you had 20 people buy your product, do me a favor, type in the chat, let me know how much money that would mean to you on just your first webinar if you sold 20. Because we get a lot more people on our webinars, obviously. All right? And I want you to keep something in mind. All right? That doesn't even include the Encore webinar that's done 2 days later, which literally doubles the profit on Friday that you would have done on Wednesday. So I'm not even asking you to put that in there. So basically, the number that you're typing in right now, if you sold 20 of your product, right? Jeff says $40,000. Adia says $5,900. Linda says my brain is spinning. All right? John says it would be worth $7,900. Kurt, $40,000. Robert, $20,000. Dan, $30,000. Wes, $10,000. Remember, that's just Wednesday. What if you do it again on Friday? Double the numbers, basically. You don't have to type it in the chat. Your numbers are impressing me. I wasn't expecting this. Natasha, $50,000. Incredible. All right. Remember I said that would be just one webinar? Well, what if you did one webinar every other week, or about 20 per year? Multiply your webinar profit by 20. Now how much would that be? Honestly, guys, your numbers are too good. I don't even want you to put that in the chat. I'll just do the math for you. Rich would be making $120,000 a year. Jeff would be making $700,000 a year. Skip would be making $200,000 to $250,000 a year. John would be making about $60,000 a year. Diana would be making about $72,000 a year. Tom would be making about $110,000 a year. Thank you very much, guys, for doing that exercise for me. And remember that's just based on one webinar, not doing the encore strategy that we're about to learn. So the final question then, if you made that annual income that you just typed after taking the webinar control training, would that be worth paying $4,985, assuming you had the money, right? Obviously, it would be worth it if you went through and it gave you the results that we had. So, awesome. What that means is you guys want this program no matter what, right? It's really just about the investment cost and whether or not you can afford it. And I get that. And we're going to work very hard. I promise you, I hope you're going to give me, I'll get back on camera here so you guys can give me a high five for what I'm going to do for you right now. Ready? So the value is $49.85. You get to save $2,988. The final price for Webinar Control Framework is $1,997. That's what it's going to sell for. I think that you can see now, if you can make this type of money, that it's easily worth $1,997. But here's what we're going to do. The only two case studies I have are of gurus named Russell Brunson and Mike Koenigs. I can't go to the market and later sell this for $1,997 without case studies. So I'm going to let you save $1,000 on this webinar today. If you promise to share your case study with us after you go through the course and apply what we teach you, you'll then be a leader in your industry. All that we ask you is that you allow us to use your case study. And if that's cool, if you can agree to that, if you want to be part of our case study, you're going to get everything that we showed you here. Webinar Control, Lifetime Access to Control Writer, the Offer Control Framework, Video Genesis Framework, Webinar Genesis Framework, and Webinar Video Sales Letter, and Webinar University. That's the $5,000 value. We're going to save you on this webinar only. You save an additional $1,000 of what Andy and I are going to sell this for starting next month. So your special today is only $997, but I'm going to make it even easier for you to get access. When you get to the order page, and Dave, if you can push that order link there, we just put an order link above the chat, and we're gonna pop a little button for you to get access to. It's going to bring you in a new window, and go ahead and click that now because we made the checkout process very easy that you can check out in under 90 seconds. All right. We also work with Bill Me Later. It's a PayPal credit. That gives you 6 months of no payments and no interest for 6 months if you pay it off within the first 6 months. So if you qualify and you got to live in the United States for that, it's U.S. residents only, and based on your credit, you can get started today and not have to pay anything. And you can start making profits with this if you use it and apply it, and you don't have to make any payments for 6 months. And there's no interest at all if you pay it off in full before 6 months. That's pretty cool. That's only available on the $997. They don't do it on installment plans. Remember, that's for U.S. residents only. If you're qualified, 6 months, no payments, no interest if you pay it off in 6 months. So by all means, click the buttons that we just put up there for you and go check out. And here's why. I'm going to show you in a minute. We're going to be selling out before we even finish the training in part 2. Next, for those of you guys that want to get started today for just $397, scroll down underneath the red button that you see here on the order page. I'm going to show you that right here. Okay? Go right down to here on the order page, and you can get started for just 3 payments of $397. All right? 3 payments of $397, so you'll be done paying this off in 60 days. 1 payment today, another payment in 30 days, and another payment 30 days after that. All right, so you can get started today. Of course, we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, no questions asked. If you're unhappy for any reason, we don't want your money. We want you to have success. Get your money back. Simply let us know at our help desk. You don't even have to talk to a human. Nice and easy. Again, Webinar Control, lifetime access to Control Writer, Offer Control, Video Genesis, Webinar Genesis Training, Video VSL Genesis, and Webinar University as well. You get all that today for $997. You can get started today for just $397, or you can get started and not have to pay anything for 6 months if you're a U.S. resident using PayPal credit at Bill Me Later. The way that works is when you get to the order page, it'll give you a choice for credit card or PayPal. Click on PayPal, and when you log in, click on Use Funds in My Account. No, click on the one underneath that say Use PayPal credit or Bill Me Later. Okay? That's what you want to do. Let's not put that URL up, Dave, blocking the slides because they can't click on it. So click on the link in the chat if you can. All right, so let's just remind you, all of the training and fulfillment begins Thursday, July 9th. This offer is for the first 50 people only. We will sell out before this webinar ends, so you need to go there now, because now I'm going to start part 2 of the training. The sales are starting to come in. I'm starting to see them ticking right now in the room. We're getting buyers. We only have 50 available on this webinar at this price with all of these bonuses. We may continue this special over the weekend, but not with these bonuses. Okay? So let's get started. Let's get back to the training that I promised. Remember, I told you it's only available on this webinar. Click that little button that you're seeing right there, right now. You're getting thousands of dollars of special bonuses that are available only on this webinar for $997 with the special pricing.